And now, your hosts, David D'Lo Lopez and Jason Smith. This is The Metalist.
Hello, and thanks for joining us whenever you're listening to this, wherever you're listening to this. It's The Metalist Podcast. I'm Dave.
Pause for effect. I'm Jason.
Today we're going to talk about something very near and dear to our hearts. Jason's actually wearing the shirt for him right now. Today we're talking about The Ghost Inside.
My all-time favorite band.
His all-time favorite band. I like him a lot too. So let's start.
Oh, they're pretty cool.
Yeah. Start at the beginning. Well, how about this? We'll start at a beginning. When's the first time you heard him?
Returners. I saw a friend of mine. Who was it? I think it was Nick Poppleton. Posted it was like the album cover for the Returners, and
That street thing.
he posted the album cover for the Returners, and like the dude usually just, I mean, he likes a lot of hardcore stuff, but he mostly like Brutal Death. Mm-hmm. And I was kind of like, I wonder what this is, and I listened to it. Let's see, I'm trying to think of the first song I heard. I mean, I guess I just started at track 1 on Returners, and then like I thought it was pretty cool, but it was just like, I mean, at the time too, it's just like, you know, you have so much stuff. It's just like, okay, here's another cool band.
Yeah.
And I just listened to it every once in a while. I remember I was listening to, well, we'll get to that in the list, but I think after that I heard when Get What You Give came out, they were still like, okay, this is just like another album from this band. I think is pretty cool or whatever. I didn't have Fury for the Fallen Ones. Yeah, I didn't have that one yet, but I got Get What You Give because that was right after I had first heard them. So Returners have been out for a little while, and then let's see, I heard Get What You Give. So one thing I really liked about Returners was the fact that like the music was rather melodic, had like some singy parts as far as guitar, mm-hmm. where the guitar really carried like a lot of the melody, and the vocals were just hard like the whole time.
Yeah.
And I also liked how it was really like a lot of layering in the guitars too. So real chordy, but very layered as well, like big thick chords. You know, not just the chunky low, and they had the full chords, and they did it quite a bit. So I really liked that. So when Get What You Give came out, like the first one that really caught my ear was, I guess, probably Dark Horse. It had like because I remember the clean vocals. I was like, wait, what? Like, you know, they have clean vocals on it. It's like, wow, that's pretty crazy. Because like at the time, you just never heard that from them. So,
yeah.
Again, and it was the same as, layered guitars, better production, like layered guitars, with those really like melodic fucking guitar lines over top of it that were just really fucking kind of set them apart from, standard metalcore / hardcore stuff that I'd heard. And, and I've never known, like, are they a hardcore band? Are they a metalcore band? I don't really care. But, I mean, I've always thought they were like a hardcore band, but they are a little bit, they still have some of that, kind of like the punk vibe of those riffs. But they also have, like, more, like, metal riffs than a normal hardcore band. I mean, kind of like Hatebreed, I guess.
Yeah, there's a definite
they remind me of. Especially old
edge.
Hatebreed, where the old Hatebreed had a lot of those, like, punky riffs in it.
Yeah.
So, but then as they went, and they're working with Jeremy McKinnon, I could definitely see where they got a little more of the, like this, I hate to say like better songwriting, because I don't think there's a certain way that songs have to be a good song.
I think it's certainly more anthemic.
But, well, they became a little more accessible too, a little more streamlined in what they were doing. Obviously, the sound, a little more compressed, a little more polished sound. But like when Dear Youth came out, so by the time Dear Youth came out, like that was an album I was waiting to come out. Mm-hmm. Like I was excited when, you know, the song Avalanche was on Spotify. I was excited when Dear Youth was released as a single. So by the time that album came out, like around that time, they were really kind of like becoming my favorite band. And then, you know, and then obviously the bus crash. And it was like, damn it, like I've never seen them live, you know, like, shit. Like, and as far as I knew, you know, as far as probably anybody knew, like they were over.
Yep.
You know, I mean, I know there's been, well, before we get into that, when did you first hear them? Because you've seen them live a couple times, right?
I was trying to figure out how many times. I want to say it's like 6 or 7 on the way up.
Dude,
yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, from
Fuck off, dude.
yeah. And the first time I would have seen them would have been about 10 years ago. They were opening for Zayo.
When I saw your fucking picture you posted with fucking
Yeah.
with
Okay,
Vince, I was like, fuck that.
No, it was all of them.
It was all
Yeah,
of them. I was
we'll
like,
get to that in a
fucking
sec.
man,
Yeah.
like, God damn it.
So I just saw this name, The Ghost Inside, popping up a lot alongside Parkway Drive and Suffocate 11 years ago in 2008, around the time Fury and the Fallen Ones would have come out, right? And they see this name popping up everywhere, and kids are talking about them a lot. And I finally see them as direct support for Zayo at, I don't remember the name, but it was a venue that didn't last very long in Temecula. There was also a music shop, and they would just push the music racks out of the way and open up the floor, and it had a stage. It was a cool setup. Zayo was obviously great, but then before that is Ghost Inside, and they are killing it, and all the kids are singing along. I was like, I guess I dig these guys. It's 4/4 Misery Signals, and they would probably tell you that because they say Misery Signals is their biggest influence. And then after that, they put up, I think it was Between the Lines, just like, hey, here's the new single coming out from the album coming out in 2010, right? Because they were on an every 2-year cycle for a while.
Yeah, Returners was 2010.
Yeah. So I was just like, oh, they stepped it up a notch here. And then everybody else kind of got on board too. And then the time I saw them after that was at Soma Main Stage opening for Parkway Drive. And there was one band in between them, and I won't say who it was, but people, the enthusiasm was not there, and there was a lot of hype around this band at the time that I did not understand, and the energy kind of needed a little pick-me-up when Parkway started playing. But, dude, Ghost Inside should have been direct support. They killed it, dude. To see them go from this little, you know, for all intents and purposes, music store in Temecula to, you know, main stage in its peak, Soma, dude. Like you know, people are having to stand on those little things on the side because there's no room to stand on the floor anymore. And everybody's just digging the hell out of it. And I was like, okay, Ghost Inside's is popping off now, dude. This is the band to be watching.
Fuck, I would love to see them in Soma. That would have been cool.
Yeah, on Returners. I want to say Andrew was brand spanking new too on drums, and I think Jim was in there by this time. I've never not seen them with Aaron on guitar, their original guitarist. Saw them a few more times at Soma, saw them a couple times at Warped. I can't count how many times I've seen them. I've seen them a lot, and it's been awesome every time. Last time I did see them, they headlined over Every Time I Die, that's gnarly. And it was right after Dear Youth came out. And I was just like, man, there's not a lot of bands that could headline over Every Time I Die, and I would say they held their own pretty well. That was a sick show. And Architects just put out Lost Forever, Lost Together, too. That was...
I'm looking at the dates, dude.
Lineup.
I mean, by the time I really started listening to them, I think Get What You Give was probably already out.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't know it was out.
Yeah. Well, that's when each album, dude, the momentum build for these guys was crazy. Like, each album brought in more and more people, you know? And then, unfortunately, if people weren't on board for the music, they definitely heard about them because of the accident, and in a mixed blessing sort of way that got more fans out of them, I think, you know?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, and then they had the big, you know, like, not memorial show, but, I mean, they had the big, like, what was it? It was just like a fucking fundraiser.
It was like a fundraiser,
just
yeah.
a fucking big tribute fucking
Yeah.
show. And
The one at
I think that was where like Bleeding Through had their first like comeback show was at that show, I think.
yeah, it was a
But like
2-day.
Winds of Plague played it too. Like they kind of came back after being on hiatus, and
Yeah,
Architects did like one of, I think they did Engine 45.
yeah. At some,
In
I
their
think it
set
was
or
just their
something?
own show. Like there was a grip of these little satellite shows. They held them all over, but the big official one, yeah, was at Chain Reaction over 2 days. See, and I've always wanted to know this. A Dying Dream played this thing, and
Oh,
A
yeah,
Dying
that's
Dream
right.
is who Ghost Inside used to be. So I'm like, how did that happen?
Well, okay, so I was wondering that too, but then I was looking at this. I was looking at Wikipedia, and I saw that like, okay, Vigil's the only original member.
Mm-hmm.
So I wondered like, because like Jim isn't an original member, neither is Andrew or Chris. So it was basically him and Aaron that were the original guys.
Yeah,
So I wondered like, that's what, guitar player and singer.
yeah.
I wonder if the other guys from A Dying Dream that were in Ghost Inside, that weren't in Ghost Inside anymore, if they just started another band and just kept the A Dying Dream name, and maybe it's like all these
Yeah, I think
original A Dying Dream
the
guys, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
but it was just for that one show.
yeah, I mean that's the
didn't
only way I
continue
could see
on.
it like making sense that they're. I'm like, yeah, because I thought the same thing when you told me that. I was like, wait, how does that work?
In hindsight, there's probably YouTube footage that could easily answer all these things, but I didn't think of that till just now. So
Same.
oopsies. But no, so like it's cool to see how many people rallied around him. If you see the fundraiser thing, what do they call that? It was crowdfunding, but there's a specific one for like, hey, emergency medical bill, whatever.
It's not GoFundMe.
Oh, it is GoFundMe. There
Oh,
you go.
okay.
Yeah, and I definitely donated to see like all these dudes from other bands were donating thousands.
I don't
Dude,
think I ever saw the link.
what's their face? Bring Me the Horizon donated a ton, and that was really cool of them. I think it was like maybe Ghost Inside's first big American tour might have been with.
I mean, literally any band that hears this story, any band that's toured in a van, like that's got to hit you pretty hard because that could be you.
Yeah.
I mean, dude lost his leg.
Uh-huh.
I mean, what, 3 of them were in critical? Was it 3 of them?
All of
4
them were, and
Why not 4?
they're
Like all of them were messed up. But I thought it was like 3 of them were critical for like a long time.
Yeah, Jim got out relatively quick compared to the rest. Vigil woke up, after being in a coma for like 3 months or something like that. And all their crew is messed up too. The driver of both vehicles, the drivers of both vehicles didn't survive, which obviously sucks in its own right. But like just to hear, if you want to hear the interviews firsthand from all those guys, they're all over the place and they're mortifying.
I think the first time I heard like one of the interviews was when I don't remember who was on, but like I heard one of the guys on the Jossa show.
that was Zach. Jim was on the Stu and Tom podcast. Rest in peace. Vigil's been on a couple things since, they've all told the story from their own perspectives. Andrew's been on, I think, some YouTube thing.
I've seen stuff on YouTube and I've seen print stuff since. But that was the first time I heard anybody even talk about it. Was when he was on. It was when Zach was on the Jossa show, and that was listening to that. I was like, Jesus, dude, like that's fucking crazy. Like it was crazy just reading the story.
Yeah.
And then hearing like him talk about it, I was like, good God, dude. Like,
Yeah. Well,
and so like again, any band. Like you hear about something like that happening because it's happened a lot, man. I mean, Cliff Burton died, in a bus, turned over bus. Was it Vitek and what's this? Was it Sauron? Was their singer?
yes.
Now,
Well,
he just got fucked up, but Vitek died.
I think he's still dealing with complications.
Yeah,
too.
right. He's because he was like his head was all messed up. Correct.
Yeah.
Vitek died. And I mean he was young. He was only like fucking 19 or something.
Sad
and
stuff.
like this has happened several times. Throughout the years. It's always a sketchy thing. I mean, especially winter tours and stuff like that, and that's road conditions. And then you throw on driving conditions,
Yeah.
like you're driving late at night, or
Human error.
you didn't know that someone, you didn't know the person driving your bus was drinking all night, or
Yeah.
you don't know the other person that hit your bus or your van was, maybe that person was drinking, or maybe they're sleep deprived and they should have pulled over. It's just shit happens sometimes.
Dude, you want to see a really... how about the ones that people survive and they're shaken for the rest of their life?
Yeah.
That bleeding through one from 17 years ago in Utah.
Oh yeah.
The video footage, because it was
I
on
didn't
some
see any
dude's dash
video
cam.
footage. I just remember hearing about that one, like, because we, lived in Idaho at the time, and I remember
Brutal.
hearing about it.
It's that they put the news report at the beginning of their first DVD, which I thought was kind of gnarly.
Really?
And it's you see it on the dash cam because the cop was pulling somebody over, and all of a sudden you just see them go, "Oh shit!" And then like you see the van and trailer, reverse football spiraling through the road, and like stops maybe just shy of the cop car. Like it looked gnarly, and that wasn't even their van; it was on Len from Sinai Beach.
I think I have seen that. Now that you say that, I don't
Yeah.
think I saw it at the time, but I think I've seen it since.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if I watched that DVD. Maybe I did, and I saw the footage or something. But yeah,
it's a long
It was
DVD.
pretty gnarly. So it's like, at one point it was like, oh man, this band's becoming your favorite band, and all of a sudden, fucking boom. As far as you know, they're done.
Yep.
And it's like, fuck, dude, that sucks.
Yeah.
Like.
And then,
Actually, how the fuck did Rick Allen lose his arm? Was that a car accident too?
from Def Leppard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
He was drunk driving or something.
that was just him in the car, like, right? He was just driving the car, right?
Oh, yeah, because then the other one that comes to mind is obviously Motley Crue and
Well, yeah, but he wasn't even hospitalized.
Vince
Was
Neil?
Was Vince even in the hospital?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Because I know the other dude died or whatever,
Yeah.
but I don't think Vince was. If he was in the hospital, he wasn't in the hospital very long.
Yeah.
But that is different. That's in your off time. You're doing your thing. Yeah, there's been. Obviously, fucking everybody's human. Like that shit kind of happens. But the fact that you're doing your job, and part of your job is travel, and that travel is risky. And
Yeah.
the rally was huge because a lot of bands were like, whoa, fuck, like, okay, that could easily be us at almost any time.
Yeah, sorry, I just
like it's
remembered
fucking crazy.
100th and Being as an Ocean on tour 2 years ago for Warped. Their bus just caught on fire for no apparent reason.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like that shit just, there's really you just don't know when it's going to happen or if it's going to happen. So you really, it's just like anything else, man. It's like you just, like they talk about all the time, like since the accident, they talk about all the time, like you really got to appreciate, obviously there's a healthy fear of, healthy fear makes you appreciate now a little bit more.
Yeah.
You don't want to be too scared to live your life or whatever. But yeah, man, like you don't know when something like that could happen. So it's like it gets fucking pretty crazy. And I've seen some of the posts, like it's, they were very like, for lack of a better term, they were really pretty real about what was going on. Like,
Absolutely.
So they announced this new this comeback show, not a tour, but of the first show back.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, holy shit, dude! Like, well, I remember when they had the Facebook Live thing when they were they were having their first jam session.
Yeah, it was the anniversary. It was the 10th anniversary of Fury and the Fallen Ones coming out.
And I was just like, holy fuck! Like they're able to play. Like just the fact that they were able to play was like super exciting, you know. And then they announced the one-off show, and we are going.
Mm-hmm.
I hope it goes well because. This determines whether or not they're going to keep doing it, or obviously, I think even if they didn't all keep doing it, they're all making music.
Vigil has been very outspoken about. I hope Ghost Inside continues, but if not, I'm gonna find a way to keep making music, which is awesome.
And even the drummer, like who's obviously. I would probably say out of all of them, he might be hampered the most considering the fact he lost half his leg.
Well, that's the other thing
But
too.
he also has music that he does too with programmed drums. He also plays guitar, so it's like okay, even then, if it doesn't go well and they can't continue as the Ghost Inside, I'm sure all of them will keep playing music, and they will be supported all the way around. But
Absolutely.
But I'm really hoping it goes well so that they can keep going because fuck, man, like they were really gathering a lot of fucking steam, dude.
I know it's crazy to think, and you never want to think other scenarios because it's ultimately useless, right? But just where they would be now if that didn't happen, and what that momentum would be like now, and they'd be ruling the roost. They still kind of are, right? But like, But like, damn, man. I guess 2 quick things along these lines. Shout out Epitaph Records for saying any remaining proceeds from the albums go directly to the band now. And just the overall determination of these guys, after you hear all the harrowing, and absolutely it makes sense, that they would be in doubt of themselves after something like that. I wouldn't blame anybody in that position for a second. So it's even more inspiring to see them so determined to come back strong and continue on in one form or another, even if it is just for one show,
Oh yeah, dude. I've seen the fear that happens when you you get hurt in the gym. It's hard to go back in and do that same lift. I've seen what happens when a baseball player takes a pitch to the head. And it takes them a while before the dude can even stand in the batter's box. And that's little stuff, man. I mean, you think like how many people get in car accidents? Like some of those people, man, like I mean, friend of a friend, hasn't, as far as I know, hasn't driven since a gnarly accident that he was in. Like he just can't get behind the wheel of a car. So I mean, the fact these guys had this happen, it's like, okay, now that's the thing. They have this one-off show, and then it's like, all right, cool. Like maybe let's say it goes well, and all of a sudden they're like, okay, we're gonna go on tour. Like, what does that look like?
Yeah, no, that's true.
Because are they going to be able to be in? Without having like massive anxiety or over, too much stress.
I know Jim was determined to get back at it as soon as possible, so he's been going out with.
I know he was it Beartooth?
Nah, well maybe Beartooth too, but I know the first one he went with was who else is from Vegas? Ronnie Radke, Falling in Reverse. He went on tour with Falling in Reverse immediately, just to get over that. But I mean, but he walked away quicker than the others too.
Yeah.
So who knows?
But also that's the other thing too, man. Some people are like that. Some people are like, okay, I'm gonna take this head on.
Yeah.
And just get right back into it. Other people, man, it takes them a little while. So I mean, I'm kind of curious to see how that all shakes out.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I sit and think about you're not the only one that's thought that. Where would they be now?
Oh yeah.
Like I've thought that so many times, especially with like how big, like, and some of the big things that like A Day to Remember's been doing.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And like that's their producer, and I mean that's their bros and stuff, and it's just like, man, like they could be doing that type of thing, that type of thing.
And who knows where the music would be at now?
Look how big Parkway Drive is.
Yep.
And the stuff they're doing, and it's like that they could be on that level.
Yep.
Like they could have been on that level. I don't know if it would have been because, I mean, okay, so here's the thing. Because I always wondered how it was going when like Dear Youth came out. Because, I mean, at the time I wasn't, no Facebook groups, no Twitter. So this is, this band's becoming like one of my favorite bands at a time where I'm like pretty disconnected from like other fans, right? So was there any fucking kind of like kickback as far as like when Dear Youth came out? I mean, where it was clearly like not as hardcore or heavy, quote unquote, as something like Returners?
If there was, I didn't hear it.
Like, was there sellout shit and stuff like that, or were they just still kicking ass and like just keep going up? Because I'm kind of curious.
I mean, that more than anything else. If there was kickback, I didn't hear it. You just become so desensitized, and who gives a shit about that stuff?
Well,
sure. You know what I mean? After a certain amount of time, and again, but I straight up didn't hear anything. The only thing I heard anything from was Vogel and some of the Terror guys. When
there was some beef there.
When they were really
happened.
shitty about, and then you find out it was actually, and Vigil being the stand-up dude he is, came out and said, "Hey, I accept whatever he has against us. It was because of something I did that made him embarrassed in front of his friends on tour," and just laying it out there. It's a personal matter. That's all it was. And then like you see them kind of bury the hatchet, and Vogel's a completely different guy now, and he's a lot more chill, And like he says, he watched them every day on Warped Tour when they were on that tour together. And he made a whole thing about, I've had issues with these guys in the past, but I hope for the best after, as far as their recovery goes, like right after the accident. That was the only thing I can think of. I've never heard anybody talk negative about him.
Same here. I mean, if anybody even, if I mean, just the people that even know him. Like, I know very few people that even have listened or have heard this band. Again, nowadays it's there's so many bands to listen to, you know, and it's like, you know, people. It's easier to find your niche and listen to all of that.
Yeah.
You know, with the streaming and whatnot. So. Yeah, when I say they're getting bigger, I mean obviously we're talking about metal, so I mean that only gets so big, but still, like, you know, yeah, like I guess I would have to say, like, you know, shout out on this one to like G-Dog, like probably the biggest Ghost Inside, well, definitely the most vocal Ghost Inside fan I've ever met. You know what I mean? Like he's putting posts up and tagging all of us in there, like like every other day, it seems. The
connection this band has made across the world. You know, all these people care so much, they're going to come from all over the world for this show on this coming Saturday. Like dude, it's crazy. You don't see that with a lot of bands that have been around for longer or put out more stuff. There's a real connection there with their message. And, like, you know, they got an inspiring story behind them now. And, like, they're good dudes.
On what level of a comeback is this to you? Because, I mean, obviously I'm biased because they're my favorite band. But, dude, at the time, Metallica was probably my favorite band. Metallica or Slayer, you know, right there, 1 and 2, 1A and 1B. Like, I remember when Cliff Burton died. You know, and obviously we didn't have social media, so I didn't know what the fuck people in Europe were saying. I didn't know, you know, magazines didn't print like, oh, all these fans fucking blah, blah, blah. So there wasn't the scope, obviously. But, I mean, I remember when they got Jason Newsted on bass, man. Like, I mean, and just my circle of friends, we were just like, holy shit. Like, we didn't know who Jason Newsted was. We were just like, okay, like, they got a new bass player.
And it was within a matter of months, right? It was like
pretty
instant.
Quick, and we were all just like, wow, like they're gonna actually keep playing. You know, like it was pretty like holy shit, but like it was relatively fast. There was never any really like holy shit, is Metallica gonna keep playing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so, you know, and obviously it's bigger because, you know, Cliff died. You know? R.I.P.D. that sucks, but I mean, as far as like the band going forward, you know what I mean? Because, like, you know, I mean, there's, you know, fuck Randy Rhoads, you know, I mean, from all of them, they all, you know, fucking Bon Scott and all that. Like, the band's always, they always continued on, but now I don't know a lot about those because, like, when I first heard AC/DC, you know, Brian Johnson was the singer. I don't know if there was this big overwhelming thing of like, holy shit, is AC/DC going to keep going? You know what I mean? Like, and again, like, there may have been, but you just didn't know about it because you didn't know what even people in the next state were thinking,
right?
Let alone what someone across the world is thinking. And now we do get to see that. And it's like, even with like Def Leppard, I do remember there was some stuff like, is Def Leppard going to keep going? There was time there. Mm-hmm. A lot of the reason though was you know, the dude didn't die. You know, I mean, generally it's like, okay, the person died. It's like, okay, like, you know, a lot of times I don't really see there being a lot of weight there.
Right.
Yeah. No, sorry. Let me rephrase that so people don't take that the wrong way. I don't see a lot of waiting there.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, because sometimes, especially musicians, the way they deal with that sort of thing is by playing. So it's like, to me, the common sense thing would be, dude, get a fucking new person and get back out there so that you can, you know, move on and stuff and live life. Where, like, to me, it's almost like the injury thing would be worse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you want to wait for the person.
Yeah, no, that's true. You can't.
But at the same time, you're like, fuck, man. Like, this is my career too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
But they were also all in the same position too. It wasn't.
Well,
just one
and this one, that's the other thing. This one, it happened to all of them. Mm-hmm. They were all kind of fucked up. But the fact that, like, you know, Rick Allen, you know, he lost an arm, and I'm not trying to say fucking you know, that's not that big of a deal, but to me this is almost bigger because it's like, fuck, man, like the dude lost his leg.
Mm-hmm. The other dude lost half his foot. Vigil, they got to the point where he had to give up on getting a new artificial joint in his ankle, and they just fused the ankle to the foot. So he's got limited mobility. But they're making the most of it.
You know, it's weird. I've seen very little live footage of these guys.
Oh man, yeah, they moved around a lot.
I mean, I've seen live footage, but I've seen very little live footage, and some of it was just because, like, I just, you know, you don't want to see it. Like, you're just like, oh, you know, like,
yeah, they put on some of the best shows ever, man.
But I mean, I've seen the stuff I have seen, like, holy fuck, like, that's crazy.
Yeah,
like, you know. But again, that's a lot of hardcore stuff is like, you know, crazy, like that style, that, you know, stage divers. And
but there's also that reciprocated energy from the crowd, and like these guys have it out the ass, man. Vigil used to get in the crowd for the very end, and that would usually be it was either Engine 45 or Faith or Forgiveness. I remember back in the day, Aaron, their old guitar player, used to get in the pit and play. I don't know if it was a particular song. He would just do it every once in a while. Like they're a very crowd interactive band.
Is Faith or Forgiveness the one that's I'll See You When the Sun Sets? Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Big sing along at the end.
Oh yeah, for sure, dude.
That's what it's all about. So the anticipation is definitely at an all-time high between the fans and the band, you know?
Oh yeah. I mean, that's another thing too, man. Like no band, I know we've talked about it. Let's see, I think, you know, kind of touched on some of the stuff in like the Deftones episode, which I think this will actually come out before that, because I'm going to put this out like rather quick. But I don't know if we talked about it much before, but like no band, maybe in the motivation songs, but no band has fucking gotten me through anything quite as heavy as this band. Like, I climbed a fucking 13,000 foot mountain. This is what I was listening to.
There you go.
That's really where I fell in love with the Ghost Inside. I listened to the Returners and Get What You Give the whole way up and the whole way down. I mean, there was a couple other albums I listened to, but I put in like a 22-hour day or something. I mean, and this was, I listened to it over and over and over. You know what I mean? Like, you know, the whole time splitting up with my son's mom, like, this is the band that helped me through that. It was like Hatebreed and Killswitch Engage helped me through panic attacks earlier, 10 years earlier. But, like, this is the band that helped me through the hardest time in my life. And that's probably why they are my number one band of all time. I mean, I've had people say, like, how the fuck, they're new. You haven't even been listening to them that long. And I'm like, impact, dude.
Yeah, it's all about personal connection.
It's not longevity. It's impact. What this band did. I remember fucking people talking about, like, back in the day, I remember Eddie Vedder in an interview on MTV, a rare interview on MTV, but I remember him talking about, like, how just crazy it is to him, but he gets it, but he also just thinks it's so nuts because it's his music. But he's like, I just never thought, like, my song would help somebody that much. Because he was just like, I don't hold myself in that high regard like I would The Who or, Led Zeppelin or Black Sabbath and stuff like that. Like, he didn't see himself in that regard, and so it was strange to him that people were coming up to him and saying, "Oh, your song Alive, like, helped me through this and that, and your music's helped me through so much. Like, I've everything from fucking suicide to drug abuse. Like, your music helped me through that." And it's like, it's that same thing. Like, you go through something. And there's, maybe you're going through something, you listen to all kinds of stuff, and all of it fucking helps you. Just music in general. But every once in a while, man, you go through a thing, and there's this one band. Yeah. You know what I mean? Absolutely. That really fucking gets you through. Yeah. And it's like, that's what this is for me. And that's why I tell people, impact is huge. The impact that this band had on me was massive. Probably more so than any other band. Because like I said, going through the panic attacks was one thing, man. Splitting up with my son's mom, because the kids were involved, was like, I'm not going to say double or triple or anything like that, but it was more. It was harder. And so it was like, whoa, like, it was huge, man. I remember one time, well, I'll get to that when I get to that song. So, let's see. You got anything else? I mean, I know, we talked a little bit about the band members. That's the other thing. Up until recently, like, I don't even know. I just barely learned Jonathan Vigil's name. Like, when the accident happened, I knew Vigil's name. I didn't know any of the other guys' names. Mm-hmm. It was just a matter of, like, that's another thing that I thought was pretty weird. Is like, I mean, we've talked about it before. As we go on, as I got older, I just didn't have time to be this fucking psycho I was when I was younger and like learn everything about a band. And it just became like, the nitty gritty. Like, do I like the fucking music or not? How does this band make me feel? How does this band sound? That's kind of what this was. You know what I mean? Like, and it was like I think I learned their names so I could follow them all on fucking Instagram.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and they're the only band I follow all the members on Instagram. Like, every other band. I mean, I follow a couple guys here and there, like maybe one or two guys from the band. But this is the only band where I follow all of them. Like, and I'm genuinely interested in seeing what they're doing, even as just people.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
So that's the kind of impact it had. But like, I thought it was pretty crazy too. At one point, when I think probably the first time I told Brett, Ghost Inside's like my favorite band. And he was just like, what? Like, and I started thinking about it. I was like, it's pretty weird. I think I said out loud, like, I don't know any of their names. Like, I could tell you most of the song titles, I guess. I mean, just because I have seen them that many times. Mm-hmm. But I thought that was pretty odd that it was just, just until recently. I mean, I had no idea what their names were. I think the first time I ever heard of A Dying Dream was in one of my honorable mentions, which is Wide Eyed.
There you go.
With the kid from Let Live.
Oh, yeah, Jason.
Dude, he's got a really weird delivery, but it's so fucking cool. Like the little part in the middle.
Yeah.
And he says, remember A Dying Dream? Like, I mean, I was like, what the fuck is that? Like, I looked it up and I'm like, oh shit. Like there was it was the band before that. And like, I think they used to have A Dying Dream. Like it was like a demo or something on Spotify.
They should still.
Is it still on there?
Well, now I'm curious because it was Media Scare and Media Scare is so up in the air. I don't even know. And that was a re-release. That was the second version of that.
I haven't been to the Ghost Inside's fucking Spotify page in a long time because I just have all their stuff in a playlist.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, it's on there. Sort of. It's just not showing up.
Oh yeah, right there. Now or Never. I think I've only ever listened to that one time. Do you ever listen to it?
Occasionally, it's interesting to see because this is the halfway point because they started out. This was like this halfway point between where metalcore was prominently at the time, where it was Killswitch, Unearth, Bleeding Through, which they've all said are also influences. But then there was also the other half, which they became more solely focused on, which was the more melodic metalcore, melodic hardcore side. Your Shai Haluds, your Misery Signals. And then, so they kind of focused on that side more, Poison the Well. So it was interesting, because I've never heard a band do that ever since. I'm surprised nobody else has tried to do that. But, like, I think they're better as Ghost Inside now, They repurposed some of the songs as A Dying Dream. But it's cool to see a little snapshot of where they were. I have both bands on the same playlist. Kind of like I have Hellhammer, Celtic Frost, Triptychon on one playlist because it's technically the same thing,
Well, it's weird, too, because I was trying to think of other bands like that. I mean, obviously, lots of bands had different band names before they actually got their thing. They had different band members before they had their thing.
Burn the Priest, Lamb of God.
One I was thinking of was Burn the Priest and Lamb of God because they actually had an album out with that other band name.
Mm-hmm. And then they just had another one.
And on Spotify, it is in there. You don't look up, Burn the Priest doesn't have their own page. No? It's under the Lamb of God page. So, I was kind of found that a little bit interesting.
But it's cool. It's a little snapshot of a transition they were going to be in before they became what they became. I'm surprised. I would really like to do a band like that where it's, the Swedish melodic death metal influence metalcore meets the melodic hardcore of Shai Hulud plus.
It's a really cool sound. I mean, and you can put a lot of different, like, you can swing it a lot of different directions too, so that's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Are you ready for maybe honorable mentions?
I think so.
I just saw something on Spotify. I had no idea they covered Southtown.
Yeah, for one of those.
I've never heard that before.
It was like
a
Punk Goes 90s or
Punk Goes
something.
90s, yeah.
And they did a pretty good job. I was just gonna say, like, all those dudes are super nice too. We met them at Warped Tour 5 years ago, and we asked them if we could take a picture where we're all, look how awesome this is, to make our friend feel bad that was supposed to. We were trying to make our friend that felt bad make her feel even worse for not being there by being like, hey, look who we met, and they were super cool and
Worked on me, and I didn't even know you yet.
Yeah. So, and then Vigil gave Alex a shout out for his Shai Hulud shirt that he says he noticed from the crowd. So, good dude. All those guys, good dudes. Even though Alex was trying to be an antagonistic dick and said go Sharks to the very, very widely known
Kings fans, dude.
Yeah, so it was all in good fun. Good dudes. Shout out, special mentions. You want to go first?
Shout out, go Kings, go.
There you
All
go.
right, so let's see. Honorable mention, obviously, Wide Eyed. Pretty cool, catchy tune. There's like a line in that one. It's like, remember those things we were all made to fear and laugh as we realize they all got us here. Like, I love that shit.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Shout out Jason for having newfound success. Formerly of Let Live, now he's in Fever 333 or whatever they're calling it, and they got
that's
nominated.
him?
Yeah, they got nominated for a
Nice.
Grammy. Yeah, and he's also in a band that I like even more called Hesitation Wounds. Not Hesitation Wounds. Shit. What's it called?
Google?
Yeah.
I haven't listened to the Fever 333. Are they the guys that get fucking super crazy on stage, though?
Let
Isn't
Live
that
did
them?
too.
Or is that the band Three Teeth?
Three Teeth might too, but like Let Live had a reputation for him being crazy. I saw them at the Shea, and if you've seen those like weird banister things on the
Yeah.
top that people hang off of, he was like going around him over and over and over
Oh,
in
wow.
the beginning of the song. He's nuts. I remember feeling this dude crowd surfing on top that's going nuts during Refused. I'm like, who is this? And it was him. They weren't even playing the show. He's just like that's his like biggest influence is Refused. So I was like, oh cool, he's singing along. You guys are on the same label, or they were. Son of a bitch. Hesitation Marks something. Whatever his other band is, go check it out. It's basically him with a bunch of ex-members of Scars of Tomorrow, and they're awesome.
Oh, Scars of Tomorrow, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yep.
R.I.P.D.
Yep.
Wait, aren't they back?
They are, but it's just the singer and the bassist, and it's them making them, and they like put out
Kinda
a
just-
song a year.
Yeah.
So hey, that's better
Just
than
ultra
nothing.
part-time in it.
Yeah, good time.
Let's see, another one. Downbeat. I think that's the one that has that line, the hardest lessons you'll learn are the ones you've been told. Like,
Sounds right to
I
me.
always like how they put it in the song because, like, I remember hearing that from, like, I don't know, some old timer when I was a kid.
Yeah, I could buy
You
that.
know, basically saying, like, man, like, you know, people can tell you everything about life, man, but you really don't fucking know until you just do it.
Yeah.
But that's got that cool fucking, you know, it's kind of like a little bouncy fucking riff. And then, I mean, I got two more. What's two of yours?
So I got to, mine will be, I'll start off with Dark Horse. It's not my favorite album, even though apparently it is for lots of other people. But that song in particular, a good live reaction. It's just a good anthemic pump up song, you know? And then the other one I'll go with is Siren Song, which I feel like is very underrated off of Furia and the Fallen Ones. It's got that, as I mentioned, those Misery Signals melodies, man. It's chock full of them. And even like the verses and stuff in that little opening riff, it's super chuggy and sharp and crunchy. They had a very distinct metallic edge to them that just, they did that a lot better than a lot of other bands, you know? So that one I felt was kind of overrated. They must have played it back in the day when that was the only album they had, but I don't ever remember them doing it.
Underrated or overrated?
Underrated. Did I say overrated?
Second time, yeah.
Shit, sorry.
Loser.
I can't help it.
I mean, I would say I like these songs, but like they don't have a song I don't like, so
Yeah, fair enough.
you know,
Yeah.
I'm like, I guess like honorable mention could be like literally their entire catalog, but
There you go.
another one I do love, Dear Youth.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like it's just I like the big chords on it, you know. And it's just a pretty simple line too. It's just down, 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 like 3 chords. I think it's 3 chords for the chorus part. I think it's 3. I think a pretty simple tune. Anybody that's older understands that though. You know, dear youth, what was your one big plan? You made us believe we had the world in our hands. Like, you know, yeah, you get older.
Yeah.
You kind of like, that hits you a little bit harder. And then another one, because the end part, dude, Test the Limits. Fuck.
Yeah, for sure.
Dude. Okay, first of all, like fucking, you know, the chorus, like the big fucking group, you know, the gang vocals and stuff, like, you know, tonight, we got Test the Limits. You know, like, so, but dude, the end part, that guitar, down, 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 like that shit is so fucking cool, dude.
Earworms for days, these guys.
Dude, it's so singable. And that's like, that shit they do, dude, like that shit'll get stuck in your head so bad.
Absolutely.
Like, it's crazy. Like, because that wasn't like a favorite of mine when I first listened to the album, man. Like, that was one that I remember climbing up the mountain. After I climbed up the mountain, like, I would just get that part stuck in my head, that little melody line. And I'm just like, okay, like, which song is that? Which song is that? And like, for a long time, I had to like find the song.
Yep.
And then after a while, I was like, okay, now I know what song it is. And then, you know, pretty soon it's like becoming like in, you know, because I mean, I have the playlist of like their whole catalog, and then they have like another playlist where I have like specific shit from certain bands I put in there, and it's like now that song is making that playlist every time.
Absolutely.
You know, it's like, okay, I need Essential goes
That
aside,
little
and it's like
plus button, or I guess it's a heart now.
but it's like I need Essential fucking shit, and it's like, okay, like that just made the Essential list. So
Yeah.
I mean honestly, honorable mention, blah blah blah, but this would be like number 6 would be Test the Limits.
There you go. You know what? One more thing, actually 2 more, and I say honorable mention in a very strict sense because they're not Ghost Inside songs. Vigil making guest appearances.
Oh, I heard one of these.
Yeah. So one of them is I'm going with.
He was on the Fallen Dreams song. He was on one of those, right?
Oh yeah, that too. Because they had that camaraderie. Well, that was the other thing. Back in the day, they were inseparable for a while, dude. Like it was always, they were going on tour all the time. They weren't that far off stylistically. You know, they were both very Misery Signals influenced. And now they share a common member, or did, however you want to phrase that. But I was going with. So they say their biggest influences is Misery Signals, and then their other 3 are Shai Hulud, Comeback Kid, and Bury Your Dead. I love all those bands, so it's no secret as to why I love this band. But and he was always very vocal about his love for Shai Hulud, and so they invited him to be on a song on their last record, If a Mountain Be My Obstacle, and he does the vocal trade-off with Chad, who was producing the record at the time, former Shai Hulud vocalist, and it's perfect, dude. Like his voice, the voice just goes perfect with that. And then the other one is it was the former vocalist of Misery Signals' solo record under the name Solace, dude, that is one of my favorite records of all time. So is that Shai Hulud one, but go find the Solace record. It's on Bandcamp. It's called Call and Response. And he's on the 3rd song, 3rd or 4th? 4th track, 3rd song technically, I guess. Okay, but it's called Our Father, and he trades off with Carl, and it's epic.
Nice.
And it's the only time. It's really good. Yeah, like I said, go on Bandcamp. I'll show you a link later. And it's the only time in my recollection, and that was a big deal at the time, that that there's a recording of Jonathan saying "fuck" in in a song. So. He was like, I got him to say fuck in a song. That's cool. There's video of them.
Oh, that was another
it.
thing. I remember for a long time I used to wonder if these guys were like a Jesus band or not.
Well, that's what one of the songs that
But there's that song, The Conflict.
That's what
But
I was looking for, yeah.
Isn't that the one with the dude from Sleeping Giant?
That's the
Who
idea is they had a non-Christian,
fucking massively.
Yeah,
Jesus
well, so that was
fan.
the whole point of that thing is about trying to find common ground between religious people and non-religious
Yeah.
people. So they had Ghost Inside, that's not a religious band, and they had a guy from a religious band. You know, it was like,
I think so. That wasn't why. The reason why was because I would look in like the related artists or whatever, and there was always like Fit for a King,
yeah,
you know, and Sleeping Giant, like some of the like religious fucking bands. So I was like, are they on that tip? But I mean, at the same time, I didn't give a fuck. I was like,
Yeah.
whatever. Like All Out War, I love them. Impending Doom, love them.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter to me. But for a long time, I used to wonder that.
yeah. I
Another
think they
huge
just got
shout out
along
real
with
quick.
everybody.
I know we don't cover covers, but dude, they do a gnarly cover of Fortunate Son.
Yeah,
By
absolutely.
Creedence Clearwater Revival. I fucking love that, man. Like, and that was legit. Like, so that was something I used to post. When did I used to do it? I didn't do it this year. I used to post it every 4th of July.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, just, I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know why I do, because it's a fucking protest song. But one year I was posting it, and I think I typed it in YouTube or something, and it was like Fortunate Son, and it came up like Fortunate Son Ghost Inside, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
so I
man.
listened to it, and I'm like, Jesus, dude, like, because I love that song. You know, I love that
Yeah.
Creedence song. So
It's crazy to think where that came from. Was that game Homefront, which
Yeah.
turned out to be a huge bomb.
total
And
bomb.
like and like
but like
there
the
was all
fucking
this
soundtrack
crazy...
was sick as fuck.
No, that's
like,
the crazy thing is like
You know?
awesome, and they only gave away so many free downloads or
yeah.
like downloads
And you know what's
at all.
weird too is like I had that fucking I downloaded that album. The only songs I listened to off of it at the time was like Oceano doing War,
Oh yeah,
Acacia Strain doing War Pigs,
Mm-hmm.
and Winds of Plague. Stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's
is that on there?
going down.
Shit, I
yeah.
don't remember that. They did. I remember what's
And there
their
was
face.
there's maybe 2 other ones. I never listened to the one because I think when I had that fucking soundtrack, like I hadn't even heard Ghost Inside. Like I didn't even know who they were
Yeah.
because I never listened to the Dillinger one either. Because they do a song on there, right?
Well, it's "Fight the Power" by Public Enemy,
Right.
and they got Chuck D to come do it with them.
oh,
And it
see, I
was
didn't
sick.
even know that. Like I knew
Yeah.
that they did a song on there.
Yeah.
So there was a bunch of that soundtrack I didn't listen to, mostly because I didn't really know the bands or I didn't like the bands. So I was just like, I won't even listen to it. No big deal.
Mm-hmm. Dude,
It's-
Misery
you know.
Signals did Pink Floyd.
Wait, what?
Fuck, what's that song?
Is this shit on Spotify?
No.
It's not.
I'll show you the link. That was the thing. What a weird.
I mean, I can get
you
on YouTube.
Go to all this effort to put out this awesome compilation, and you only give away a few unlimited amount of downloads. Weirdos. I'm glad your fucking game's tanked.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard a lot of this stuff since on like YouTube and stuff, and
I like the Periphery one. They did one by Metallica.
oh, that's right, they did do one.
There's a handful of good ones on there. The I Wrestle the Bear one was fucking.
Which one they do?
They did the Muse song.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, and see, that was one where it's like I liked I Wrestled a Bear once. I just
Yeah.
didn't like the song that they were doing, so I was like,
Yeah.
fuck, I'm not even, I just fucking didn't even bother to listen to it.
Yeah, Veil of
it was
Maya did Sunday
it was
Bloody
one of those-
Sunday.
It was one of those things. I did hear that one. I did listen to that one because
That
I
was
wanted
weird.
to see how they did it, but.
Yeah.
It was one of those things where it's like, yeah, I mean, I have so much music, like I'm getting kind of picky about what I listen to, what I don't, and it was just like whatever. So I mean, I just kind of grabbed the fucking bands I liked, and that's what I listened to. So
Yeah. Us
let's
and
see.
Them. That's what it was. Sorry. Misery Signals did
Oh,
Us
right
and Them.
on.
And
I'll
that's
have
when
to
there
check
was
that out.
only half the
I've been
members.
listening to them more.
You should. Everybody should.
You're all do it.
Yeah. Got another album coming out this year, hopefully, and maybe with Devin Townsend producing, maybe, hopefully.
Oh shit.
So we getting right into it? Or any other honorable mentions?
For you?
No, I'm good. That sounded ouch.
Smacked my knee, then I smacked the wall. All right, hold on.
That sounds like some weird dance.
You ready?
Indeed. So,
Time for the list.
you want to start it off?
Yes, I
Solid.
do. Yes, I do. Dark Horse.
Nice. My previous pick. I'm telling you, man, that's got to be one they do live. That's a crowd pleaser right there. Good sing along. It's gonna
Dude,
be
like,
good.
yeah, so I'm not scared. It's all that I know. Was it do nothing or know nothing but travel without knowing where to go? This is kind of like, to me, it was always like, oh, flying by the seat of your pants or whatever, just going with the flow. But also at the same time, I was about to go with the flow because I was like splitting up with my son's mom. So you know, and it was the whole like I'm not scared thing. It was just kind of that, you know, when you're scared, a really good mantra to keep you going forward when you're scared is I'm not scared.
Yeah.
Keep telling yourself you're not scared. You keep telling yourself enough that you're not scared, eventually you won't be fucking scared. Actually, you'll be too busy saying that to notice that you're fucking scared, and you'll be too busy moving forward to realize that, oh wow, I was too scared. Nothing wrong with being too scared. Something wrong with being too scared to move forward. So that chorus almost became like a mantra, but there's another song that had a better mantra. But this song also cracks me up because, like, okay, so I've never known who sang that part. I don't think that's Jeremy McKinnon, is it? I'm not. I thought I looked at. I think this was the one I looked up on the Wikipedia and like it didn't come up. Nothing came up, but
Might be just be one of the other guys in the band.
it could be like
Jim does the singing parts live.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. So yeah, because I've never looked
Jeremy
up.
McKinnon.
Oh, it is him.
Yeah.
Oh well, shit.
I guess I forgot.
Fucking
Andrew
explains
from
everything.
Comeback Kid is on one of these songs too. Wow.
Oh yeah, he's can't
Apparently
remember the
Face
name.
Value.
Face Value,
I'll
yeah.
have to listen to that on the way out of here.
Oh, and it's distinctly a different fucking, different singer. Like, I mean, he's not singing, but like he's distinctly different voice. But
yeah.
Okay, Jeremy McKinnon makes sense. But I also thought it was really weird that this song, like, after I listened to it like 100 times, I bet, I just noticed like the start of it almost reminds me of kind of like a country, like hillbilly song. There's a down,
Yeah, it's twangy for sure.
Like, dude, fuck, awesome song. Like,
Yeah.
and that was the first one I'd heard. I think that was the first one I heard, but I noticed like any clean vocals. I mean,
It's very abundantly clear, yeah.
yeah, because I think that's the only one on that album with like blatant clean vocals. I mean,
Yeah, because the rest are kind of in the background.
yeah, well,
Or
there's
it's,
some
like,
there's some
layered.
background things or like stuff like in the gang vocals and whatnot. Like you can kind of hear somebody. I wouldn't call that clean vocals. I mean, it's probably
Yeah.
just someone that's not screaming their gang vocals, but still like whatever.
Yeah. It's way more pronounced in the album after that.
But I've been on so many drives where I have put this song on repeat, just trying to figure out my own head, I guess. So many of them. Like, I mean, by all rights, it should be higher, but there was like two of them that kind of overtook it. So I was like, all right, and that's the other thing. It has fallen down. Like I think at one point this probably would have been like number one, maybe number two, but like at the same time, it's also like maybe it was just number one at that time.
Yeah, I could buy that.
It did what it needed to do for me, and then it dropped down a little bit. But I do know
Yeah.
it's pretty high on their fucking top plays on Spotify. So what is your number 5?
My number 5 is Move Me, the second song off Dear Youth.
I stack brick by brick by brick by brick.
It's got a good rhythm. It's got a great melody. It's catchy as fuck. It's great live. You know what else occurs to me is there's videos for every one of these songs that I'm about to mention in my top 5, so that'll be interesting.
I've only seen one music video of theirs.
Which one?
We'll get to it.
Okay. So the video for Move Me is like Jim plays a guidance counselor or something. I don't remember it very well. I just remember there was a video and like they were acting in it in some capacity or another. So yeah.
Excellent gym tune. Excellent motivational tune.
Yeah.
Definitely would have been. Well, I'm not gonna spoil our list because that episode, this will be coming out before that. But yeah, I've posted the lyrics to this a few times. With my back against the wall. What is it? Back
I
against
stand
the wall.
brick by brick by brick by brick.
I will rise above it all.
Like
Right?
this, like this.
Like this, like this, like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Like.
It's a great chant song. It's
Yeah.
got a good energy to it. It's a
Yeah,
determination
this
song.
is one. I mean, obviously, I want to see all of them live, but like,
Yeah.
pretty much, like, I'm pretty sure, like, our whole top 5, like, both of them combined, like, I'm gonna want to see. I'm gonna really cross my fingers and hope that they play them all live.
Yeah.
I'm hoping they play like a really long set and are able to play like the majority of their stuff because their songs aren't overly long. So
Yeah, Siren Song is probably asking a little much, but everything else
True.
should be gravy.
true.
Yep. It's a song of self-affirmation. It's awesome.
Oh,
It's
big time.
It's the running theme, throughout their career. It's just positivity. I dig it.
So that's another thing I really liked about them too, man. I mean, I think they were probably. I mean, I'd heard of posse bands before that, but like I never really liked any of them.
Not
It
even
was like,
Hatebreed?
it was like, well, I mean, Hatebreed I never really considered a posse band until like later. But I mean, like, I'd heard people talk about like posse metal and posse core and stuff like that, and I was like, what? Like, I didn't even know that was a thing. But I understood what they were talking about.
Yeah.
And it was like a lot of those bands, like people tell me stuff, and I can't really think of one offhand, but like. I didn't like a lot of them. Hatebreed, but that was the thing. Like Hatebreed was like one of the first ones. Like wow, like I really like this. It's positive stuff, but like
yeah, they didn't start out that way though, for sure.
no, but like Ghost Inside too is like that was the first one I'd really heard that was like just really super fucking positive stuff, and like Hatebreed, they had the total package. They had the cool fucking lyrics, awesome fucking sounding vocals, great sounding like guitar riffs. The drums sound fucking cool. The beats are awesome. The bass is fucking there and sounds fucking good.
Yep.
And just the whole package, the cool fucking logo, cool fucking name, like it's everything. You know what I mean? Where there's like plenty of fucking hardcore / metalcore stuff that I listen to that's like, they might be missing one of those things,
Yeah, no, for sure.
Let's see. My number 4, kind of weird because I used to say like this song reminds me of like if Sum 41 met like Unearth
I like it.
and had a baby
They'd probably
that
accept
actually
both
had
of
some
those.
fucking balls on it.
Nice.
Like they didn't have to drop. It's Blue and Gold.
Yeah. Okay, that's another the one that would have almost made my honorable mentions too. Actually, great closer. Like,
Dude, that riff, the down, 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 like that's a straight up fucking Blink 182 / Sum 41 / whatever pop punk band you want.
well, yeah, they acknowledge
That is
it
like
big.
that pop punky riff, but instead of it being pop punk, it's just a little bit heavier.
Yeah.
It's a little bit harder, and that's why I say it reminds me of Sum 41 with some balls to it. Like,
Yeah.
and for the longest time, I didn't know what the fuck, like Fly Your Banner, Blue and Gold. I'm like, what the fuck is Blue and Gold?
Yeah, I was wondering that too.
So two things came to my mind. I still haven't confirmed either one of them.
I've heard, I just can't remember.
But UCLA is Blue and Gold.
I think that's what it is.
And they're from LA, but
Yep.
also the state of California's license plates used to be blue and gold. Is that it? Is that Fly the Banner? But is it a song like a hometown? Like, okay, we're from California. Is it a West Coast hardcore song? Like,
I almost want to say it's some nerdy gaming thing, dude.
could be.
I
It could be
think that's what
completely
I heard it
different.
was. Because I was like, dude, Chargers? Because that's the closest team? Like, I was looking for all these
Or
things.
the LA Rams.
Yeah, or like.
But they're
like-
not that old. They were
No,
already in
yeah.
St. Louis at that point.
Yeah. So, like, I heard him flat out say what it was on, I think it was that Facebook thing that we were talking about earlier, and I can't
Oh,
remember.
the live Q&A they did?
Yeah.
God damn it. I wasn't able to watch it because I was working or I was doing
Yeah.
something. I can't remember what it was. I wasn't able to watch it.
Oh, man. They went on earlier than they were supposed to. I don't know.
son
Or they
of
were
a
probably
bitch.
checking and, like, I don't know, but I'm sure if we looked at up
It's too
somewhere,
bad I
we could
don't
find it out.
want to research.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah, but I'd never known. I kind of just thought, okay, maybe it's just a California thing because like California is.
I buy that too, but like,
But I guess the license plates before that were black and gold, so I'm like, well, fuck.
Yeah, I only just
kinda
found that
shoots
out
to
recently.
shit, but
Yeah.
whatever. Now it's like everybody's license plates are just white with blue letters.
Yeah.
It's like so many states are like that. It's stupid.
I saw the one that caught my eye the other day going, man, has it always been like that? But I can't remember what it is. No, great song, great closer, great. I'd be curious to see if they would play this too, but I don't know. Maybe we'll be pleasantly surprised. But yeah, that's my honorable mention. You like that?
Nice.
The bonus track? I mean, that is kind of a thing sometimes.
The bonus extra track.
Yeah, let's see, my number 4. If you haven't noticed, I'm not doing these off my phone. I'm doing them off the top of my head. Oh, okay, yeah. So I talked earlier about, I think it's awesome that they got Vigil on a Shai Hulud song as kind of a homage from one band influenced by another. And in this case, it was the other way around, where they had Matt Brusso, who was, at the time was formerly a Bury Your Dead, now he's in Bury Your Dead again, on, as you know, and that's one of their main influences, and his part's awesome. Oh, and
You're
Again,
not getting older. You're just getting old.
and it made me realize, man, I have missed that voice.
That's fucking awesome.
It's awesome to see he's back in it too.
Hey, are they the band that you had the album that had just like all the songs were like fucking Tom Cruise movies?
Yep.
Nice.
And the one after that was Fairy
Dude, they had a
Tales.
video that they were all in suits.
Yep.
And
Color of Money.
Yeah.
Dude.
Dude, that breakdown in that song was fucking hard as fuck.
They were one of the best live bands ever, dude. They might still be. I haven't seen them in years. But like they got the crowd going good, man. And then there's that DVD of like the guitarist accidentally flips his guitar, and it's like in the first or second song, tuning pegs hit him in the head, and he's just bleeding for the rest of the show, just all over the place. But he stuck with it, and he's just like, "Oh man, This is our DVD shoot. I got to do it." So the rest of the DVD after that is them going to the hospital and him getting staples put in his head. And they either held onto the shirt or threw it away. I can't remember, but it was soaked in blood. Bury Your Dead is obviously a monumentally influential band of its time. You know, not just for Ghost Inside, but also A Day to Remember. A Day to Remember says that's one of their biggest
Your
influences.
story gets thin as your story gets told. Is that the
Yeah.
next line?
Yeah. Well, so that was what
So
I thought
good.
was cool. Is like they had the video where it's like high school or whatever, and they're the students. And then it was when he comes in for his part, it's Vigil, I think, sitting in a chair looking all pouty, you know, one of those high school desks or whatever. And Matt Brusso comes up dressed as a teacher because that's what he was doing when he stepped away from Bury Your Dead, was he was a teacher, so that was perfect. But catchy as hell, you know.
Have you said the name of the song yet?
Yeah, Chrono.
Yeah, you didn't say it yet.
Did I not?
Just now.
Okay, my bad. Yeah. So Chrono from Returners. It'll be one of two songs I have from Returners. It's the fifth track, right?
Yeah.
So kind of fourth song, but fifth track. Great reaction live. It's got a great melody, you know. It's a message that I think about just about every damn day, dude. The passage of time and
Yeah,
everything that
there's
goes with it.
let's see. Oh wait, no, it's you're not getting older, you're just getting old, and your finish wears thin as your stories get told. Let's see. Where's oh my god, where's the fucking line? Oh yeah, the part was like the big gang thing was, you know, I want to take the time to stop and think about doing this and what it means, you know, what it might mean to be. When I close my eyes, there's nothing but darkness revealed. It's right there in front of me. Looking forward for a taste of things to come. I can't see familiar faces on anyone. Life is trying to pass me by, but not this time. I'm not afraid. Mm-hmm. That shit right there, like that was one of the things that I had written on a piece of paper before I moved from Idaho to California this last time. So mostly because, you know, like I don't see familiar faces on anyone. Life's trying to pass me by. It was like when I was there, and I just literally just talked to my friend about it last night because he's kind of going through something similar. But like, so when you get older, you know, and say, you know, like not so much here. Like I've noticed, like getting older here, it's completely different. But like when you're in a place like, you know, like up in Idaho, in like a small town, like you get older. If you're single, now if you've been single the whole time, might be easier. But let's say you've been married or you've been with the same person for a long time, right? And then you get divorced or you just split up, whatever. It's really kind of strange because your options are go to the bar. If you want to be around people, it's go to the bar, right? Because all the chances are all your friends, they're not single. They have their fucking wives, they have kids, they have their own lives, they have their own shit going on. Like the more you, I mean, it's fine to stop by every once in a while and say, hey, what's up, and hang out for the night. But like, dude, you can't do it every fucking night, man. Like you're infringing on their shit, right?
Right.
And so basically what happens is like what I told him was I was like, you know, the girl I was seeing at the time, she had said, like, she used to always say, like, you know, oh, okay, she lives 60 miles away, so it was kind of like mostly a text relationship, and we had text a lot because she lived so far away. Well, you know, like, say I didn't answer text or say I was busy or something, right? She'd be like, oh, are you hanging out with your friends? And I'm like, dude, like, I don't have friends anymore.
There you go.
I have all these people that know me really well, but we're not friends anymore. Like, we don't hang out We don't talk to each other anymore. He told me a story. He's like, yeah, like my quote unquote best friend at this point is, we see each other at the fucking gas station, and it's not, like a real talk. It's small talk. It's, can you wait for football season, or when football season is? Oh, did you catch the game? Blah blah blah. And instead of like, hey man, like I'll see you on Tuesday, or hey, like I'll see you, like blah blah blah. It's always just like, it's not even like I'll see you some other time. It's now turned into, all right, see ya.
Yep.
Or not even see you, just later.
See you next time.
It's devolved to that point where it's just like, because that dude has his own life. He's got he's got shit to do. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And it was like, I felt like this. It's like, fuck, man. Like, and I'm not saying I don't have any, friends there. Like, we're friends, but it was just like in the traditional sense of friends, where you guys get together and you hang out and stuff like that. Like, I think when I first moved back there, like, my drummer Nick, had thrown this big housewarming party. It was a big barbecue, and I was like, all right, cool. And I fucking show up, and there's like 4 people there. Well, I think there was like probably 6 or 7 people there, not including family members, right?
Right.
So probably like 5 or 6 people.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like, yo, dude, where's so-and-so? Where's so-and-so? Where's so-and-so? And he's just like, I'm like, he's like, oh, he probably ain't going to show up. And I'm like, well, did you invite anybody? Mm. And he's like, I invited 30 people. Ooh. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah, but this is what it's like now. I was like, what? So this is like, I'd been living in San Diego, right? So I was in a place where I didn't have all my old school friends there. And the whole time I'm here, I'm thinking those guys are all still getting together every night, hanging out shit. Because here, that's what we were doing.
Yeah.
We were hanging out with people all the time.
Yeah.
There, everybody kind of went their separate ways. It's one of those things like, you could walk outside, throw a fucking rock and hit your old best friend's house, but you haven't talked to him in fucking years. You know what I mean? Like that sort of thing. So when I was getting ready to move, it was just like, fuck, man, like I don't feel like I know anybody anymore. I feel like all this shit, like if I don't get out of here, life's going to pass me by. Like life's trying to pass me by. And I'm like, not this time. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to move. And I was like, fuck it. So I took a little piece of paper and I fucking wrote this thing, and I had it like in my glove box in my car. And like every once in a while, man, I just grab it, because I was like, I was afraid to move, but I'd grab this thing, I'd look at it, like, all right, cool. So good call on that as number 4, because like that's a fucking awesome song. Like the gang vocals in that one, I always just pictured like I always pictured Vigil or the other guy, like one of those situations where like they first jump off the stage, and they're surrounded by all the people, and they just like hold the mic up, and everybody's fucking chanting that part, like like that shit, just like a fucking Eagles launch or some shit.
Yeah, for sure.
Those old school shows.
Yeah.
Or you're just standing on the floor and you just throw the fucking mic out. Like, that's how I always envisioned that fucking part, man. Like, let's see. Oh, man, we're at number 3.
Yes, we are.
First song I heard of theirs, Unspoken.
Ah, there you go.
I've got something here worth fighting for. Give it all, give it all, give it all. Again,
also a funny video.
Awesome.
So have you ever seen the video for this one?
No, I've never seen the video for
dude,
it.
it's a hardcore pool party.
Is this the one we talked about in the video one I thought was Acacia Strain?
I don't know, because Acacia Strain, I wouldn't be surprised if it was the same guy that did a lot of those Acacia Strain videos, because, like, they had a lot of goofy, they still have a lot of goofy videos.
Remember we talked about that, like, I thought it was Acacia Strain, you said, like, no, like the Ghost Inside had a video like that, and I'm like, dude, I'm pretty sure I haven't seen a Ghost Inside video, but, like...
Acacia Strain might have had one like that,
and, I never looked it up, like, I never really tried to see what it was, but... No, this song, man, like we were doing CrossFit and stuff, dude, and like my son's mom was like, just one day she's in the car, and I just put it on, I was playing it, and she doesn't listen to a lot of metal at the time, so I didn't really listen to a lot around her, but like I put the song on one time, and she just looked at me, she's like, how do you have a hard time running 5 miles when you listen to shit like this? She's like, if I listen to shit like this, I'd be able to run 5 miles all day. So I was like, good points. Pretty good pace on the song. Again, it's that old school hardcore style, the fucking, that 2-step type shit, like, little bit of that hardcore punky style vibe to it, and then later into the song, it gets more into like that metalcore style, like,
I was just thinking
the gang
about
vocals on it's awesome. Lyrics
Yeah.
are cool.
seeing them. I've seen them open with this so many. I know I've seen them just in general, dude.
I
Great,
could
great,
see
great
this
reaction.
being an opener for sure.
Yeah, but when they open with it, just like it was either they went straight into it, or I think it was one. It was one time at Warped Tour, and maybe it was only because they were playing here, but they open with it's Will Ferrell and Anchorman doing the "I have an important announcement" or something, and then you hear "Cannonball," and then they play the song right after.
Oh,
that.
nice.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
that was it was pretty epic.
Yeah, it's a cool song. I mean, lyrically, I mean, this is one I don't know a lot of lyrics. I mean, all I ever needed to know was fucking, I've got something here worth fighting for. Give it all, give it all, give it all. Like,
Yeah, so maybe
You know,
maybe
like-
it's one of those more broad stroke kind of lyric things.
could be.
you
I
know?
don't know. Like, I've never. It's really weird because I mean, some of their songs I just don't pay attention to the lyrics much at all, and other songs like it's all about the lyrics.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it's just kind of whatever. But yeah, this is the first song of theirs I ever heard. I believe it's just solely because this was the first one that downloaded. I think.
I can see that.
Well, plus
What
they
is
got
it,
the
track
weird like little.
4?
It's 4, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Right after Between the Lines.
Yeah.
Which I mean, fuck. I mean, there's a good like 3 or 4 fucking song run in the middle of that album that's like
Yeah.
fucking.
No, absolutely.
You know,
Hard to
like
top.
hell yeah, dude. All right, man. You're number 3.
My number 3, speaking of first songs we ever heard, I don't know about if this was the first or not, but it probably was. Their first video, man. Faith or Forgiveness. They got some weird stuff going on with some old-timey film thing in the video. I don't remember what, but it doesn't matter because it's just a sick song. And they got that big mosh part at the end with the big sing-along, dude, that he would get down in the crowd for. I'll see you when the sun sets. And even just everything up to that point, you know. Great chorus.
Yeah, that's a good one, man. Like, I mean, like I said, I mean, I like all the stuff that they do, but I mean, I guess probably the least favorite stuff of theirs that's there is the stuff off of the first album.
And there was a while where they
And,
weren't playing it too. And it makes me realize.
I mean, I guess it's more like, you know, yeah, I mean, I've said it before, I'm not the first album guy, you know, so there's that. But you could definitely tell, like, when I can just tell, like, when I listen to the first album, like, well, with a lot of bands, like, I listen to the first album, you can kind of hear, like, they've got a good foot in the door, but they're not quite all the way in the room yet, you know, like.
Yeah.
But
I can
this
see
one,
that.
like, so, you know, like my old singer, 2 of my old singers, but mostly like my old singer John, like, you know, from Difficult Henry, after he died, like every year, you know, I would usually make a little post, and this is one of the lyric lines I use a lot because I just love it, man. I'll see you when the sun sets. Like, it's awesome. And then when you hear it in the context of the song, it's even better.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
It's so good, dude. Like,
Big crowd. There is no way they're not playing that.
no, they got to play that one, man.
Yeah. It's pretty much a done deal,
Are
right?
you ready for another long story?
Yeah, for sure.
My bad. But
No worries.
so obviously, I think the first time I really paid attention to this song was climbing up that mountain. Actually, I think it was then, because I think after the mountain thing, like we went and did this thing called the Dirty Dash. It was a mud run, basically.
Okay, yeah.
In Park City, Utah. By this time, man, like shit's getting really fucking. This was kind of like right in the deep of like shit's getting weird with me and my son's mom, and we were going to this Dirty Dash. So we drive down to Utah. And we're supposed to. Okay, so we're all gonna dress up like cowboys, right? We're going there with another like a family, like another family, like friend.
Yeah.
And they're, you know, they're a little bit older than us. But like, I guess the whole deal was we were going to dress like cowboys, which already I'm not thrilled with. I'm like, fuck. I fucking hate cowboy anything. Like, so, but you know, I'm down, like, whatever. All right, fine. And I mean, at this point, I'm in like save it mode. I'm like trying to do anything to fucking hold on. I'm grasping onto fucking, you know, threads and stuff. But so we take off, we go to Salt Lake, we get a hotel room. not much talking between the two of us, I'm sure. And then we wake up the next day. We wake up late, for one. For two, we fucking go to take off. We want to kids want to get something to eat. We're fucking late, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, Jesus fucking Christ. So we got to drive out to Park City. It's not exactly, it's not super far from Salt Lake, but it's not exactly close. And I don't even think we were actually in Salt Lake. I think we were south of Salt Lake. Because it was like, so we had to go back north to Salt Lake and then go east over to Park City. So it was just like, fuck, man. Like, there's some complaining going on that, for some reason, I don't know. It was probably my fault that we were late, I guess. I don't know. But then she finds out that I didn't pack the fucking bag with the outfits. And I was like, I thought you grabbed them. So then there's a big fucking argument there, right? So we get in the car, we fucking drive. Now, we're trying to fucking go the fastest way, right? I don't know if have you ever been to Park City, Utah?
If I have, it's when I was like 2.
Really? Like, okay.
Maybe.
So there's like a pretty, there's a fucking big highway going out there, right? Because all the fucking mountains. But okay, let's put it this way, man. Like Park City, Utah, for anybody that doesn't know, the Winter Olympics, that's where they did a lot of the fucking downhill skiing. That's where they did the big ski jump fucking deal. Like they had all that shit out there. That's the fucking place, right? We'd been out there before because we ran a Spartan race out there. But I was trying to be fast, right? So I'm looking at this fucking navigation thing. And it wasn't like iPhone maps or anything like that. I don't think so. I think I was actually looking at just a map of the area, right? But I see this road and I'm like, okay, cool. Like let's just take this fucking road. Like, cause basically it's like you're going up and to the right. So you're going east and then you're going south. And then there's this road that's kind of diagonal through there, right? I'm like, fuck it, let's take this fucking, go down this fucking road. Dude, this fucking road was a goddamn single lane dirt road going up through the fucking mountains, windy as fuck, dude, like crazy. Because, the map didn't show elevation or whatever.
Right.
We go all the way up this fucking thing and then we have to come all the way fucking down. Dude, she fucking was on my ass the entire fucking time as if I did it on purpose. And I was like, dude, fuck you, dude. Like, I didn't, it was like, do you think I would do this to us on purpose? Mm-hmm. I don't want to be on this road any more than you do. One massive bonus, dude. One huge bonus. It was fall. Fucking beautiful up there.
Oh, I can imagine, yeah.
If I'd have been in a better mood, I would, obviously, if I'd have had a better phone, too. I think I had, an iPhone fucking 4 or something. It wasn't the best. But, man, I would love to go back up there sometime and take some pictures. It's fucking great. I was like, wow, dude, this is really cool. Just not the time. Mm-hmm. We're in a fucking big time hurry. We're both watching the clock. Everything's really testy, right? So we get there. And the other family, they weren't pissed or anything, but what happened to the outfits? And fucking boom, here comes the fingers pointing at me. And I'm like, dude, at that point, I was like, you know what? Fuck everybody. Right? So I'm like, fuck everybody. I don't fuck whatever. So this run it's a fucking 5-mile run, but there's a cutoff at 5K. So 3.2 miles or whatever.
Yeah.
So we all take off, and it's not as serious as a Spartan race or Tough Mudder. It's more of a fun mud run. So it's all right, cool. You don't have to fucking do you don't get penalized for not getting the obstacles.
Oh, okay.
And there's a lot of mud, dude. It was awesome. But we hit this cutoff, right? And I want to run the whole thing. We hit this fucking cutoff, and Alyssa had mud in her eye and she had contacts. So she's like, fuck. Or no, it wasn't Alyssa. It was the other daughter, the other family's daughter. I think she had mud in her eye and she had contacts. Everybody was kind of overrunning, right? They were just like, fuck, whatever. Well, let's just take the cutoff. And I was like, fuck, dude. I was so mad. I was mad before that. Mm-hmm. And then I was mad again because I was like, I want to keep running. So the other lady, the other mom, drags me off to the side. She's like, what's going on, dude? Are you okay? Because I'm starting to get a little bit panicky and stuff. And fucking, she's like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, it's just, I want to keep running. She's like, okay, why don't you keep running? I'm like, well, okay, so I'm the asshole because we woke up late. I'm like, I'm the asshole because I didn't know, I forgot to, I didn't fucking know I was supposed to bring the fucking shit. I'm the asshole because supposedly I'm the blame for all this fucking stuff that sucks. And now I'm gonna be the asshole because I want to keep fucking running and not do the cutoff. Mm-hmm. And she looks at me and she goes, so you're the asshole either way? And I'm like, exactly. She goes, well, if you're the asshole either way, why don't you do what you want to do? And I was like, you know what? Fuck yeah. And so, but then get this. She looks at her husband. She's like, run it with him. And he was cool. He was like, whatever. So me and him take off, right? The whole rest of the time, because I listened to this song, it was my mantra, not just that day, the whole fucking time, the better mantra. If there's a war you came to see, you will never see a waved white flag in front of me.
There you go.
And that has been with me the whole fucking time. Anything that's been hard since then, you know, because I think it was actually like before climbing the mountain, like, but no, it was after climbing the mountain. But like that was the thing, like every hard thing after that. You know, it's like, are you gonna wave your fucking white flag, or are you gonna fucking, you know, like, are you gonna fight back? Like, you know, and that's been a fucking big thing. This song right here was my number one for a long time. This song fucking not only fucking, I'm not gonna say it saved my life. There was never any danger of me fucking, you know, killing myself or anything like that. But it definitely changed my life for sure. And it's Engine 45. It's the only video I've seen of theirs. I remember something about a wolf. I wasn't really impressed.
Yeah, it was a wolf licking a bloody knife or an arrow. Or
Yeah, I wasn't super impressed. I mean, you know, it's just a video. I was like, whatever.
Yep.
You know, but I think it's the only video of theirs I see. I mean, clearly I've seen some pool party video, but no, this song changed it. I mean, and it's got the sick breakdown in it. It has, I mean, I'm sure I think it's about fucking like, you know, addiction, specifically meth or cocaine, because they talk about rails and whatnot. But you can use this song in like all aspects of your fucking life. I mean, I've posted the fucking chorus of this song, and you know another cool thing, dude? Like, it sounds like there's little kids singing it.
In the last part?
Yeah, like in the fucking chanted shit. If there's a war you came to see.
I can see that.
You know? It sounds like there's like little kids singing almost. But yeah, I've posted it and I've had friends of mine go, like, actually message me or comment on it, say, you know, thanks, man, I need to hear that today. I'm like, well, I mean, I didn't write it, but but you're welcome. You know, like, I relayed it. I relayed it, you know, yeah. So that was I mean, just straight up, dude, just changed it. And it's not like, I mean, the music's not like anything that's really, this was definitely one that's more lyrical than music. Don't get me wrong. I mean, the music's fucking awesome too. You know, like, it's fucking sick as fuck. But I mean, at the same time, it's also not, like, musically, I don't think it's like probably even my favorite. I mean, I don't think it's my favorite, even their best or anything like that. It's great. Like, don't get me wrong, but I mean, as far as like those lyrics, dude, you
Absolutely.
know, like every once in a while, I tell you, you know, icing is awesome.
There you go. It is interesting. That was one thing I noticed about the majority, not the entire album, but the majority of Get What You Give, is. It was a lot more straightforward hardcore, and then they had like melodic bits sprinkled throughout, obvious exceptions. But yeah, I know that I was a little taken aback by why they dialed back the melody and like throughout songs, but then like they would put it in like entire sections rather than kind of this, you know, equal playing field thing. And maybe that's part of the input from Jeremy McKinnon, because that's like not entirely unlike what A Day to Remember does. But, I mean, shit, dude, proof's in the pudding. They put out a thing a while back on Twitter, a poll, saying if we were to do, hypothetically, if we were to do an album in its entirety, what would you want it to be? And the vast majority was Get What You Give. So, I mean...
Dude, even the fucking album name, like, I love that. You get what you give, man. Like, you gotta fucking, everybody fucking, there's too many people that give what they get, and it's you know, they want to give what they get, and it's like, well, dude, like, no, that's, you're not being proactive, that's reactive, and I mean, you can do life like that, but I mean, most of the people that, you know, are happier and more successful tend to, they're proactive, not reactive, but just because life's a motherfucker. I mean, that's just all there's to it. But But I mean, yeah. So this song, especially, this is probably one of the least melodic ones on the album. There is no fancy little guitar part at doing a little fucking melody line on the top of it. It's just a straight up fucking hardcore / metalcore chunky fucking tune, man. Like, not much fancy shit to this one. It's just those lyrics, dude, are just like they're just fucking awesome. Like, but yeah, I mean, I could definitely see like a lot of people saying like, oh yeah. I could see a lot of people doing this. Is the first one they did with Jeremy McKinnon, and you can tell, man, like it sounds really good. And even like the writing, I don't know. I mean, the writing is a little more streamlined. Returners had a lot of different fucking types of stuff, and this does too. But it just has a different vibe to it, almost more of a. Because, dude, it's not commercial at all. No. It's probably not even more accessible. It's just less two-steppy and more metal-y. You know, this one's definitely the more metal one out of the two, for sure, I think.
I could see that.
Let's get to your number 2.
My number 2.
Number 2.
Yes. So I'm already a fan by this point. 2010. Faith or Forgiveness. I really like it. And then... hey, there's this new album that's going to be put out on Media Scare called Returners, their second album. And here's the first song from it that's getting put out, Between the Lines. And I was just like, yeah, this is everything I liked about Ghost Inside.
Nice.
Infinity Fold, man. Like, fuck.
That first that intro, yeah,
man. I mean, that's it right there.
I don't even know the words. I just hear the
I don't either.
The gang vocals at the start.
Yeah.
Let's look it up. Let's see.
Yeah. I've never thought that before. Yeah.
Well, because you're so
when the spotlight fades,
you're just so fucking like you're so. It's so weird because like the way that it comes in. It's really it's nothing. It's just some layered guitars and like a pretty simple melody, but for some reason it just catches your ears. Yeah, it just catches your ears. It's got this like Hot for Teachers type drum beat, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, and then by the time you're trying to figure out what the fucking gang vocals even said, they're already over.
Yeah.
And you were just so stoked that it was like this big gang vocal thing. But just the way it happens is fucking cool. You're like, fuck yeah. Like, makes you want to put your fists in the air.
And I mean, Vigil always sounds this, like it's always that same tone of voice. But he sounds like shot through a cannon at the beginning of this thing. And then even when he gets into there's no real chorus in this song, is there?
Not really.
So if you want to call it like the next part, like he sounds even more amped up than he already did.
So do they shout out, but when the spotlight comes?
Is that what it is? Okay, so I got most of it right. It's that
that
last word that I got thrown off by.
That's what they're saying.
That makes sense. I had most of it. I thought it was when the spotlight fades, just because that makes more sense than when the spotlight comes. But I guess that makes sense too. How about that? And I thought this was the one with the dude from Sleeping Giant for the longest time. It's the dude from. Okay, I gotta make this right.
Is there a guest on this song?
Yeah. Okay, Betrayal. The dude's from Betrayal. Because I always get that mixed up with Betrayed. And they are slightly different versions of hardcore, so...
Oh, this is the one. No one will ever get the best of
dude.
me. And then what do you stand for?
Yeah, so if you ever listen to the little 8-bit covers that people put up on YouTube or whatever?
I don't listen to 8-bit music.
So they get the 8-bit covers. The Acacia Strain one's pretty funny. They do the 8-bit version of Between the Lines, and it's actually pretty neat. But right there, they actually include the clip where they're going, "What do you stand for?" And you got an 8-bit bass drop going in the back. It's fantastic, dude. It's a rally song, dude. You know what I mean? It's
oh yeah, I was wondering if it was this one or the one before it that did the "What do you stand for?" Mm-hmm. Just because it has like the weird like half a song before it.
Yeah.
It's like super short. I think Get What You Give does the same thing, right?
Yeah.
It starts off with like this little half song or something, and then it goes right into out. Wait.
It's like not an intro, but it kind of is. Yeah.
It's technically not an intro, but it's like a really super short song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
well, that's the thing is like, you know what? I've had this up in front of me the whole time. It's that this is probably my favorite album front to back, right? But like, I mean, this production, dude, I don't remember the guy's name, but awesome. Shane Frisbee, great name. And he also has, or had, I don't know, he has a band called Bone Splitter with the dude that was in Bury Your Dead, and the singer used to be in Kanay or however you say that.
Ooh, I used to like that band.
Yeah. But yeah, it starts with Walk Away from the World, which is just like super, super melodic song, right?
Yeah.
And then like after that, and it's like the instrumental we were talking about where you say it's basically half a song length. And then the next one is Greater Distance, which is just like, you know, it's another determined positive song, but like it's pissed, dude. It's not melodic at all. It's a weird contrast. So then when you get to Between the Lines, going right into it after that on the third track, it's like the perfect balance between the two, you know? It's a great lead in. And then Unspoken and then Overlooked and Chrono. Yeah, dude, just that whole 1, 2, 3, just keep going for most of the album, you know. Returners has got to be the best, man, if we're being honest. Straight up. Like Returners.
I'm gonna get what you give, dude. Like,
they're all great, but like,
yeah,
dude.
I mean, as far as like full album, I think for full album top to bottom, I lean more towards Get What You Give.
Yeah. I
don't know, dude, because Dear Youth is fucking really
yeah,
good.
that's what I was just gonna say too. If you ask me on a different day, I might say Dear Youth.
It's a really good album. Like,
yeah.
I mean, they've been pretty cool about like having, like, not just we're gonna record 15 songs. Like, I mean, they really put together like really good albums, which is nice.
Yeah.
I've been noticing a lot more bands doing that lately, and it's kind of cool.
Yeah, especially in the streaming age. What a coincidence,
yeah, man,
right?
because like it's so easy to just get in the trap of let's just put 15 songs, don't care about the order because no one else does. And it's like, well, some people do.
So I mentioned, you know, videos for just about all these songs. I just realized my number one doesn't have one, but it's interesting that they put out a video for Between the Lines after they were already, you know, 2 albums after this, after they were already off that label. It's in the interim, so they would have something, you know, to tide the fans over while they were recovering from the accident, and they just compiled a bunch of footage from when they were touring around that and put that out as the video for Between the Lines, and it was cool. Glad to have it. Just I've never seen anything done like that where it's like, hey man, you remember that album from like 5 years ago? Here's a new video from one of the songs, but it works. Why not? It's just trippy to think, like, it's just like, yeah, none of these dudes are in the band except Vigil anymore, but why not? It was a snapshot in time. And it's one of their most popular songs, and I love it, and fuck yeah. So now we're at that point.
Number one. One. All right, man. So this one came out after, you know, the whole split up thing. By this time, they're pretty much my favorite band. You know, like, well, I mean, they're getting there still. I mean, but, I mean, at this point, I'm listening to them fucking constantly because I am getting ready to move. So this is like probably 2 years after me and my son's mom split up, right? I think. And oddly enough, this song reminds me of having to talk to my son and my daughter and tell them that I'm moving to California and sitting and having a big talk with them, telling them why. You know, it's like, I'm not leaving you guys. I just, you know, I have a thing I want to go do to make me happy. I don't want you to see that I don't want to stay in Idaho and have you see me just being fucking miserable all the time and think that that's what life is. Life isn't that. So I had this big talk with him about, like, how to, you know, basically, like, about being happy and, you know, like, true happiness and that sort of thing. So one of the things I always liked about the song The Other Half is, now he says it a couple times, but there's a one towards the end that I've really loved, and that is, you know, now he says, I've spanned the oceans. When I listened to it, I always just saw, like, I've seen the oceans, even though I guess I've flown over the Pacific Ocean, so I guess I've spanned the ocean too. So I mean, I guess I kind of get it, but I mean, I've seen the oceans, I've spanned the oceans, I've seen the skies. It's all I'm ever going to need to get by. But then there's this part. My favorite things in life aren't even things at all, but they're the things that keep my heart full. Again, that's a life changer for me. Like, for me, it was like, you know, like, my favorite things in life aren't even things at all. And that's how, because if your favorite things are just things, things go away, things get taken away. Like, but the things that keep your heart full, those don't get taken away. And even if they do, you could fill it with something else. You know what I mean? Like, but things like the ocean, things like clouds, sky, sunset, nature, things that don't go away. You know what I mean? Probably, I mean, until you die or whatever, but things that don't go away, things that you can count on, right? Everything on top of that, I mean, that's the fucking bottom. That's that foundation of that pyramid. You know what I mean? For me. And it's like everything on top of that, again, we talk about icing all the time. Everything on top of that's just another fucking layer of that cake, dude. And it's like that cake gets better and better and better every time. But, I mean, if you like cake. But as long as you have that bottom layer, it doesn't matter what else is on top.
Yeah.
So even if you're fucking somebody that you know, like, oh man, I want, you know, maybe a Lamborghini's at the fucking top of that fucking layer, right? It's the still fucking thing on top of the cake. Well, you don't have that. Well, you still have the rest of the fucking cake, right? So you're still not, you're fine. But if that Lamborghini's on the bottom of that, man, that's going to be rough, because if you don't have that, you're going to kind of be fucked. Like, that's, and I'm not one of those people that's against being wealthy. I'm not one of those people that's like, fuck, you shouldn't have things. I'm not like that. I fucking think it's great to have things. I just think the mindset of having things is just having things. You know, oh, what's the line? Fight Club. The things we own end up owning us
or something.
Yeah. That sort of thing. That's the kind of thing you want to watch out for. And that's kind of like what I had to talk with these guys like about some stuff like that. Like, you know, and it was about me telling them, like, I gotta fucking, you know, like, I gotta go do this thing because I gotta be happy too. Like, you know, I'm your dad, like, all this and that, that's all fine. But all that stuff trickles down, you know, and if I'm not happy, it's going to trickle down to you. Like, and I don't want that. Like, I want you guys to, you know, figure it out. And when you get older, you're going to have to figure out what works for you too, man. Maybe, you know, maybe I don't fucking make you happy, but I don't need to. You know, like, it doesn't have to be me. You know what I mean? Like, it's fine. Whatever it is, you got to find it though, right? So that was kind of what it is. I mean, it may seem like a bummer of a thing that it reminds me of fucking leaving my kids, but at the same time, it's not. Like, because that was when I first, like, really took hold of, like, my fucking life and was like, okay, I gotta go do something. Like, I mean, I guess not that I've never done that before, but I mean, whenever I did it before, it was always just kind of like in a really stupid way. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It was more just like, I gotta get out of Idaho. It wasn't like, oh man, I gotta go I gotta go live a fucking life. Or it was like, you know, when we moved to Connecticut, we didn't even know we were going to Connecticut. You know what I mean? It was like, this was like, I'm moving to a place that I fucking like. I'm moving to, you know, all that sort of thing. So, and it's a really fucking cool tune too. Like, it's not one of their heavier songs. I guess it is kind of, it's one of the melodic ones. Now I think about it.
It's a relative thing. I mean, compared, you know.
I guess it is kind of it's one of their more accessible fucking songs for sure. But like I said, I mean, you know, some of their songs do it for you at a specific time for a specific thing, and then it's, you know, and then it's just, after that, can just be a song. It doesn't have to be something more than that. So this is one that's been for a long time. So even when I'm fucking super down or something, I'll listen to this song, and I can remember I only live 6 miles or 7 miles from the fucking ocean that I love so much. I said I was gonna fucking live in California. And guess what? Just woke up in California, dude. Like, you know, like, all right, cool. So, you know, there's always that sort of thing. So that, you know, your number one.
But I have a fun time trying to top that.
You don't have to top that. But I'm really curious to see what your number one is now, because I'm like, dude, I love all their songs. So it's like,
you have a guess?
All right, let me look at your list. Chrono. Faith or Forgiveness, Between the Lines. Fuck, dude. Okay, Avalanche?
Yes.
Nice! Yes!
Look at the detective here, man. I like it. Yeah.
Dude, that's a fucking awesome song, too, man. Like,
it's just like, okay, so they're on the up and up and up and up every album. What they got a new album coming out. What's the first song they're putting out? Avalanche. fucking, and it's like the perfect summary of everything up to that point. It's even got a little bit of a punky rhythm to it. This is like the most organic production they've ever had. You know, second time with Jeremy McKinnon and his co-dude, Andrew Wade. And it's a lot more organic, but it's still heavy. It still just sounds really good. There's a good energy to it. I'm living for today, you know, like, and just live it kills. Kind of think of it, I probably only saw them do it once because that would have been the only time that I could have, you know, when the album came out. So I'm looking forward to seeing them do it again because I'm pretty sure that's going to be in the list. It's just a great opener. It's a perfect summary of everything I like about them, you know. Even the bit at the end with the more melodic take on the vocals. It's not overbearing. It's like, you know, kind of what we discussed with some of the Get What You Give stuff, where it's like more of a melodic gang vocal, you know. It's a catchy gang vocal.
Did they not write this song?
I don't know.
Because I'm looking at songwriters. It says Nicholas Gautier, Marin Perrault, Christophe Lee Men.
Where are you seeing this? I have no idea. Or what's that weird thing at the beginning with the songwriter thing in what looks like a foreign language?
It's really weird because
I wonder if there's just something got tacked on that also just happened to be called Avalanche.
I just like the fucking, I mean, this song is like the whole self-doubt thing, like, you know, but the count the clock till the overhaul, you built a bomb inside my walls. Like, I mean, it's singing, but it's not fully clean. You know what I mean? Like, you know, and it's count the clock till we're out of hand, you build, you know, you build, now we're caught in the avalanche. Like, and then that last one, now we're caught in the avalanche. Mm-hmm. And it has the big fucking melodic thing. Yep. And then it's, you know, reset, rebuild, you wreck the city, but not my will. Like, it's like all this, like, fucking, what do you call it? Like, it's like fighting all this self-doubt.
Yeah.
And then, like, right at the end, it's like overcoming the fucking self-doubt. And it's like reset, rebuild, you wreck the city, but not my will. Like, again, this is another one that fucking helped me out after one of my breakups after me and my son. Like, again, this band has helped me through so much shit, dude. Like, it's fucking crazy. Like, one of the few bands I really do fucking care about the lyrics, like, a lot. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, like, I love the fucking start too, man, where it's just like, you have the, can't give in and shut down, just breathe in and breathe out and begin. You know, and then the part where it's like, and now it's time to pull through something I must do with or without you. Like, I love that because it's like, to me, that's ultimate fucking self-love, dude. It's like, you know, and everybody tells you gotta love yourself before you can love someone else, man. If you're the fucking type of person that's gonna throw your whole fucking shit away because you're doing it for someone else, that's not love, dude. Like, that's not. But now time to pull through something I must do with or without you. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, I got to handle me first before I can handle us. And I don't know if it's a fucking romantic thing or if it's even a friend thing, but I got to handle myself first before I can handle us. Like, that's fucking awesome shit. Like, you know, that a lot of people don't really fucking think about all that much, you know, or, you know, they see stuff like that and they're like, oh, it's so selfish. It's like, no, dude, it's fucking called self-love, man. Like, it's actually a lot different than what you're thinking. You're looking at that situation in a negative light. Awesome song, first one they released from the album, and like I said, I remember when they released that, like, fuck, man, I was so fucking excited when it came out, dude. Mm-hmm. I was just like, oh my god, dude, a new Ghost in Sight song. Like,
and you know what else came out the same week was they released Raise Your Voice by Obey the Brave.
Oh really?
Yeah, dude.
I don't think I listened to Obey the Brave at that point, but like, yeah, I just remember that. You know, like, and I didn't see anything like we're going to release a single. It's just, it was at the time where it was like, I think, what was it, Thursdays? Was it still Thursdays at that point?
That the albums came out?
No, Spotify released their stuff. Because I remember it used to be Thursdays and then it switched to Fridays.
Yeah, because all the albums would come out on Tuesday But like that was just in the States. Like that was the whole
Yeah.
point of them all moving it to Friday is to try to combat privacy from people that got it early.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what day of the week all the other countries got
Yeah,
it. But yeah.
I remember, like, you just wake up. I mean, I still do it every Friday. I fucking wake up, dude. I check my release radar. Then I look for other shit that I know is coming out. But release radar, I check for stuff I don't know if it's coming out yet or not, or if someone released a single. Man, I still do it. I did it back then. I remember opening up the thing, and it was just like, fucking holy shit, Avalanche, Ghost Inside. And I'm like, fuck, yes. Like,
You ever
And then-
get it at like 9 the night before it all, like because of East Coast stuff?
No, I've never gotten it. I checked, not last night. So it was whenever the new brand of Sacrifice came out. I checked the night before. Like I
Right.
was that excited, but it hadn't gone through yet. So I was like, damn it.
Yeah.
So I had to wait till the next day. But I think it's the first time I've ever checked the night before. Unless I was driving for, if I was out driving for Uber, fuck, it's like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. I'm like, okay, like that new shit will be out,
Yeah.
like, so it's like, all right, cool. Because I'm going to be up till 3 a.m. anyway. But usually I'll wait till Friday or something. But like, I just remember being so excited when this fucking song came out. And yeah, dude, it's a fucking cool tune. I also like how it has that, or is it Blank Pages that uses the same, or no, it's the intro to Avalanche is like the chorus in Blank Pages or something like that. So it's like a bookend on the album,
Maybe.
right? It's
That's something Misery Signals did on their first and
Oh,
fourth
really?
albums, yeah.
yeah, it's I can't stop screaming these words
Yeah,
over
yeah, yeah.
again
Yeah.
until so it's like the bookend. Oh, there's
Hello,
Dr.
Doctor.
Manley.
And he's
Everybody
Excited to
listening,
see
say
me.
hi to our new cat, Dr. Manley, aka Stanley.
he doesn't know where to run.
He's awesome. It's a little black Persian. Smush face.
He makes funny noises and has an affinity for high places.
Oh yeah, he likes to climb and he likes to hiss at me.
Yes.
And he's part ninja.
Yep. That is for sure.
Do you have anything else other than the top tracks? I mean, I got the top 5 here.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can do is 5 right now too.
Looks like
Great band. Talking about all the lyric stuff. It's interesting because like they're really gonna have to live up to their own lyrics this coming Saturday. That's
oh yeah,
gnarly.
man.
I've never
Well,
thought
that's
of
what
it
they're
that way.
doing. Like that's the
Yeah.
thing that kind of kills me is that they're actually doing. They're
Yeah.
actually living up to their own shit.
Yep. It's gonna be awesome. Great band, great impact on a lot of people, positive impact, inspiring. I don't know how many other words there are to say the same thing, man. It's a fantastic band. I hope they continue on past this next show. Glad to be going with you guys and the rest of the fam. It's gonna be sick. It's gonna be crazy just seeing
Fuck
the sheer
yeah.
amount of people there.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be an emotional night. It's gonna be cool. Good times ahead. On that note, that was our
Indeed.
personal favorite 5. Let us know yours.
For sure.
Real quick, we're gonna go over all the stuff on Spotify as far as the top 5 most streamed songs. Number 5, we got "Move Me," which was one of my picks, at 3.5 million as of today. After that, we got "Dear Youth" at 4.6 million. Good choice. These are all top-notch choices right here.
Oh yeah, I think the only one that didn't make either of our lists was "Dear Youth." I had it as I
Yeah,
had it as an honorable.
yeah. Dark Horse after that at 4.8 mil. Avalanche at 8.8, almost 8.9.
This one really surprised me.
Engine 45 at
Yeah.
number 1. Really?
I was
Oh
like,
no, that doesn't
what,
surprise
dude?
me
Like,
at
that's
all.
crazy. Like,
12.7. Yeah,
I thought
that's
for sure it was going to be Dark Horse. Be honest with you.
It's the one with the video. It's the one that they close with. It's probably on some sort of list or a playlist rather. It absolutely makes sense to me. It's not my favorite by any stretch, but like
It's gnarly.
It could be worse. Actually, not
Hell
really. It's Ghost
yeah.
Inside, but yeah, man, solid. I mean, you can't hate on any of those.
Massive amounts of love to the Ghost Inside.
Yep. Good times
See
ahead.
you guys Saturday in a
yep.
week, actually.
a
Exactly
week
a
from
week.
today.
And go ahead and like and subscribe, even though, there's nothing to subscribe to at this point, but
Yep.
you can like the posts.
Get ready to subscribe.
You can
Yep.
rate and review, all that stuff.
Yep.
Follow us on all social media, Metalist Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And on Twitter, The Metalist Pod?
It's a Metalist Pod.
Metalist Pod.
Yeah, because they only allow so many characters in the name.
That's right. True.
Yep. Thanks
Right
again for
on.
everything. Shout out to my favorite podcast, Realm of Madness. They had some very kind words to say about us, and of course, I want to return the favor. If you like, well, first of all, if you like Xibalba, you should be checking it out because it's got Brian and Jason from Xibalba and their friend Gilbert. Shout out all those guys. Shout out Juvie, who like never talks behind the controls, but it's good to know he's there. And if you just like hearing dudes get progressively drunker throughout the episode talking about metal, it's your show. It's my show for sure, man. It's all the props to those guys. Major love. Also go check out Brian's side project Mortuary Punishment. And look out for a new Xibalba coming on the way. As always, thanks for joining us. Eat your vegetables.
Fuck your prayers.
Talk to you soon.
Later.